parks across Birmingham and Sutton Coldfield were left for the residents to enjoy in perpetuity for free, enabling people of all ages to come out and get health, exercise, improving their mental and physical well-being. And yet now Birmingham Labour want to introduce car parking charges at some of those parks, including here in Sutton Park, in the Lickey Hills and at Sheldon Country Park. We've been out talking to residents and local campaigners about why it's so important that these parking charges are stopped.
So Birmingham Council over the last few years has been talking to the residents around Sutton Coldfield about charging for cars in Sutton Park. There have been at least 3 consultations, and each time the message has been clear: no, we don't want people to be charged for taking their cars into the park. Birmingham Council has promised in the latest consultation that after 2 or 3 years, if the scheme makes a profit, they'll plough some money back into the parks. Well, the parks cover 600 open spaces, and there's no way in this world that any money that's realistically going to be spent in this park in a meaningful way. The last time this happened was when the Conservatives were in control of Birmingham Council in 2006, when we got 250,000 to improve the parks. Since Labour took control in 2012, we've seen nothing. The consultation process this time, we've had the informal time in December. There was 4,000 people said no, we don't want it. The formal consultation on the traffic regulation order in the park at the moment has had 5,500 responses, and from the consultation exercise online, people said no to this, so I expect those 5,500, the majority, to say no as well. So it's time Birmingham Council listen to the residents who are saying no.
Anya, can you tell us about the impact on residents of these proposed parking charges by Labour?
We think it's terrible. It's a terrible idea. It would impact anyone who can't walk to the park. It's almost putting up a financial barrier, especially to those families on lower incomes.
One of the impacts is going to be a displacement of cars out of the park onto neighbouring roads as well. What do you think is going to happen to people living near the park?
Well, the neighbours of the park face car parking as they do at schools twice a day. This will be all day. People will park on roads and cross drives, blocking the roads, and it's just a crazy idea.
The problem that something like this brings is a high degree of uncertainty. But obviously what they're concerned about is where it goes in the future, future increases. And so, yeah, as a business owner, it's all about certainty and being able to plan forward, and this just creates uncertainty for us.
So what impact do you think it's going to have on the staff business? It's going to be any other issues?
In terms of the staff, again, they're parking every day, so the annual pass seems reasonable at that price. But again, it's the uncertainty into the future as to what's going to happen to the price of that. Moment in time with everything going up in price, it's just something else that people are going to have to pay for, which generally people aren't very happy about.
You said you have a number of elderly customers who might come every day.
Yeah,
They'll come every day going forward and bring their car.
I think there's an element of them that won't be able to. I mean, for those individuals, we're sometimes the only people that they might see all day from a social interaction point of view. So yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, and our proposals, if we get control of the council in May, would be to scrap the charges. How do you think the customers will respond to that?
Oh, I think they'd be massively positive about it.
I'm firmly against the car parking charges being proposed by the Labour Council in Sutton Park. I'm a resident, a dog lover. I walk my dogs all the time in the park along with a lot of other residents, and I'm really concerned that these charges are going to put people off from enjoying this wonderful open space. Let's not forget that once the car parking charges are imposed, the only thing that's going to happen is that they're going to go up. Since Cannon Hill Park car parking charges were introduced by this bankrupt council in 2017, the charges have gone up 88%. They've gone up 25% in the last 2 years, and that's going to happen here. Because Labour love putting up prices, they love putting up charges, and they love putting up taxes.
Birmingham Labour, the party that bankrupt the city, have decided to push ahead with introducing car parking charges at the Lickey Hills. They intend to introduce 35 pay display machines at Sutton Park, the Lickey Hills and Sheldon Country Park at a cost of £1 million. It will take 2 years to recoup that money before we see anything spent on the Lickey Hills.
So Adrian, we're here looking out over the city. What an incredible view of Birmingham you can see from the Lickey Hills here. And you've lived around here for years, haven't you, being able to enjoy this wonderful park?
I've been visiting the Lickies, a little lad, all the way up to 16, and I've enjoyed this park. And we always visit the Lickies and park either in the Beacon Car Park, or so you can come here and visit the Licky Hills, enjoy these beautiful views, and you don't have to pay any money, and that's fantastic. And to think that they're going to introduce car parking charges, I think if George Cadbury were alive today, he'd be absolutely. The bus links are non-existent. You have a decent walk to the car park, you have a decent walk to the visitor centre. It's just not practical, especially if you've sort of got children and you're elderly or something like that.
Birmingham Labour want to introduce car parking charges to park in parks like here in Sheldon Country Park, Sutton Park and Licky Hills. This makes it more expensive for residents across the city to be able to enjoy these brilliant parks which were left for the residents of Birmingham to enjoy for free in perpetuity.
Birmingham Local Conservatives will scrap car parking charges at the Licky Hills.
Local Conservatives would scrap parking charges in Sutton Park.
Local Conservatives will scrap the car parking charges that Labour are proposing in parks like Sheldon Country Park. Birmingham Local Conservatives are pledging to scrap all the car parking charges that the Labour Council want to introduce in parks if we win next year's elections in May 2026. If you want to help get rid of the car parking charges, then come join the Local Conservatives, help our campaign, stand for council, and help us get rid of the Birmingham Labour Council that have let down the people of Birmingham, and help us scrap these car park charges in Birmingham's parks.